It's definitely a movie that where, like, you know, it has to be a specific acquired taste. Like, oh, do you prefer beer and you hate wine? Well, then you're not going to like this movie because this is like the wine of movies, I'd say.
Men spørgsmålet er, hvad der i virkeligheden er fornuft. Der findes en norsk filosof. Han mener, at mennesket er født med en halv promille for lidt.
Altså, jeg må sige, jeg kunne da godt sådan bruge en halv promille sådan på daglig basis for at få lidt mere selvtillid.
Det har vi da alle sammen brug for. Det har du da også brug for.
Jeg synes, det er spændende.
Driveby Movies, you're watching
Fresh releases.
My name is Blaze.
And my name is James.
And this week we're talking Thomas Vinterberg's Another Round.
What a night, what a beautiful, beautiful ride. Don't know where I'm in five, but I'm young and alive. What was they are saying, what a life.
Another Round follows four friends, all high school teachers, and they test a theory that will improve their lives by maintaining a constant level of alcohol in their blood. This is a movie that I was a little reluctant going into just because I remember The Hunt was very depressing, but that ended up being one of my favorite movies of that year when it came out. I remember it was a movie that we checked out for our old podcast, Blaze, and like it was like a big surprise where that it ended up being as good as it was, and that's kind of what Another Round was for us again. It was just like, what should we review? There's not really a whole lot coming out right now and stuff. It's Oscar season. I guess we'll give this movie a try and a go around, even though it's been out for, you know, a couple months currently. But it's fresh to us, and I'm really glad we watched it because I thought this was a fantastic movie and one of the better movies of 2020. What'd you think?
Easily. I mean, the bar is quite low for 2020. Let's be honest here. And then also another fun thing about 2020 is it's the highest rate of alcoholism, like I think ever. Because of the quarantine and people being stuck at home, and instead of going to the bar, everyone's made their own home bar, or maybe they've just gone to 7-Eleven and bought a fifth and then chugged it right outside and then weeped outside the 7-Eleven about how they lost their job. I don't know. I'm not speaking from experience, but anyways, I thought that this movie is absolutely delightful. It's a fun look at it's a fun alcohol movie, which I feel like is kind of rare. I feel like most any movie that has like alcohol or alcoholism is always like super serious and just kind of depressing. Thinking about films like Smashed, even though I really enjoyed that film, it was definitely the more darker side of alcohol. This is the lighter side, right, although there are some dark turns throughout the film.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for that dark turn to really like kind of hit in the movie, but it's, I mean, even though they are there, they weren't as heavy hitting as I was expecting as like other movies and stuff, just because I kind of went in just expecting this movie to be really depressing, because The Hunt honestly had like kind of no light at the end of the tunnel with that movie. But this movie, though, I liked that, like, you know, they're kind of turning like something that could be deemed a very negative quality and stuff, but using it to create a lot of positives and stuff. And of course it doesn't lead all the way there. I did like the first like hour and just like seeing all the places that they're going. Like I was like, oh, the places they'll go and stuff. It's a quote from Dr. Seuss, but it seemed like a fun thing. It kind of reminded me of just like me and like, you know, our friends and stuff. Plays just like how we, you know, don't get to see each other that often and stuff. Like, you know, whenever we do, we kind of talk about some of the more depressing things, but then what brings us together, though, alcohol and stuff, and you almost want that to last forever. And I kind of see the logic of what they were going for. It's an interesting hypothesis and seeing that it does work, but as it starts to escalate, it starts to kind of go downwards, like you were saying. But yeah, I think like just this movie just felt very like realistic and stuff in its terms of like how like friends like communicate with each other and like are there for one another and stuff, and just like also just like kind of the depressing aspects of like, you know, what like, you know, Mads Mikkelsen's character is going through with his relationship.
Definitely, yeah. I love the authenticity amongst the friends and amongst the characters throughout this film that are kind of just trying to live their life in a better way, whether alcohol is the key or not. I liked the idea that, you know, Mads Mikkelsen's character is like this teacher that's kind of closed off, like kind of quiet, students don't really like him all that much, but then he starts, kind of going into class buzzed or drunk and realizing that he's very outgoing when he's under the influence of alcohol, he opens up to his students. He gets them all very entertained and is very exciting and entertaining for them to have him as a teacher. So I thought that was like a really cool look at it, because that's a lot of the things that people absolutely love about alcohol. That's the reason why it's so ingrained in cultures around the world, is just the idea that, it opens you up. You're a lot looser to, be more free kind of with your feelings and your honesty. I feel like for the most part, at least, that's kind of why a lot of people enjoy drinking. It really opens them up or starts to open them up to stuff that they wouldn't normally, or maybe felt uncomfortable doing, like for example, even dancing or something like that. Somebody that doesn't dance will drink and go to a dance and literally dance with every girl there or something, or every guy, who knows. But yeah, I felt like that aspect of this film makes it really fun. Even the aspect of his friend, who's like that soccer teacher, who then kind of integrates this kid who's like kind of the bullied kid into the team. And there's a lot of fun elements of this movie that really make everyone kind of connect to what the things that they really enjoy about alcohol,
Yeah. I think it was Cat Williams. He was talking about weed when he said it.
There is a chemical in weed that's called bucket. And if you can just get that in your system, it could change your life. Some of y'all be crying about bills you can't pay. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this light bill. They want the whole thing. They don't want a piece of it, a deposit. Just hit the blunt one time and see if it don't change your perception of what's important in your life. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this life. Fuck them goddamn life.
It's like kind of like the overall like attitude kind of at first when they're first like getting into their drinking and stuff, just like where life really like hits you, even when it's like might not be the worst thing in the world and stuff, but you just have so much going through your head, like, oh, I'm bored and stuff, like, things aren't there that are like making me happy that I used to and stuff. But I really liked seeing those aspects of them just kind of appreciating the moment more, or taking a second to really think and just like kind of like just enjoy that moment. Like it really shows in that dinner scene early in the movie where he's like drinking as much wine as he can before 8 o'clock and stuff, it felt like, and stuff. And just like his wife is even like caught off guard and just like, oh, okay, like we're having a conversation. It's just simple little subtleties like that though, where it just like reminds me of just like, it really took like that feeling that like alcohol kind of brings you and stuff, and like kind of brings that loosey-goosiness and stuff. Yeah, didn't like feel like over the top drunk and like Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist and stuff. Like oh, that's stupid. Nobody acts that crazy when they're drunk.
Yeah, definitely. Anything in excess is obviously too much. So, but I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a pleasant surprise. It's kind of a fun movie for the most part, because it reminds you of times with your friends, hanging out, getting drunk, having fun. Some of the things I did kind of want to look at about this movie was just the idea that Thomas Vinterberg kind of worked with his daughter to create the idea for this movie, I guess originally as a play. And the idea came from just the fact that Denmark has the highest drinking age amongst teens, I guess, like the highest amount of alcohol. And there's even a scene in the film where Mads Mikkelsen's talking to his students, asking like one of the kids, like, how much do you think you drink like a week? And the kid said, I think it was like upwards of like 40 drinks a week or something insane, whereas like that's a lot of drinks, but I guess in Denmark, the teen drinking is that high because the drinking age, I think, is 16, and a lot of, I guess, the lawmakers have been trying to like move it to 18, but so many people are so fond of their time drinking kind of as young adolescents or older teenagers, like at 16, drinking so much with their friends and having great times that they kind of cherish. I'm sure obviously bad stuff happens too, but I think for the most amount of people have fond memories of drinking, I guess, at that young age. So it's interesting kind of thing. I didn't personally know about Denmark, so.
Yeah, I had no idea about that and stuff, and just like seeing how early it was, and like it kind of makes the ending of the movie just feel a little bit more like you know, a little bit more wild and stuff, and just like, you know, him kind of reliving his youth and stuff in that moment and stuff. But yeah, like I was really caught off guard, like with just like the intro. I liked how it like kind of not caught off guard, but I really enjoyed that it like ended full circle, like with the pretty much like the same exact kind of shots of just like, you know, the high school kids partying it up and stuff. And
Yeah, definitely. I thought that overall, like, the film does a lot of things that people love about cinema when it comes to like beginning and ending kind of at the same place. And it's a kind of a tight-knit story, very character-driven film, and a very pleasant film to watch. So I definitely recommend this movie. I'm pretty positive that it's gonna make some type of appearance, like at least at the Academy Awards. I think it's nominated for Best Foreign Film. Also know that Thomas Vinterberg is nominated for Best Director. I don't think he's gonna win that one, but this might be in the running for Best Foreign Film. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna win, but I really appreciated this movie. Like versus The Hunt, like I thought that was one of the better movies. I'd still say that's the better of the two if you had to compare them. But I really enjoyed this movie though, and definitely see like a lot more rewatchability with this movie. This is definitely a movie that like, well, it's not really a happy movie. It's just a movie that kind of resonated with me enough to where like I'd want to rewatch it and just make me feel happy. Like I'm just hanging out with friends and stuff. Like just like it reminded me of like just my joy for discovering mumblecore films, where just like talking can be so fascinating for me and stuff, and just feels so realistic and authentic. And that's what this movie is and stuff. Like it's not gonna be a home run for everyone. This is definitely a movie that where like, you know, it has to be a specific acquired taste. Like, oh, do you prefer beer and you hate wine? Well, then you're not gonna like this movie, because this is like the wine of movies, I'd say. Yeah. But no, I highly recommend it. Definitely recommend people checking it out, like seeing it. It's still playing in theaters and stuff. I'm not sure if it's available on Amazon currently yet, but you know, if it is, like, you know, check it out through our Amazon affiliate, because that's a great way to help us out by watching that movie.
Definitely. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button to subscribe to our channel, and click that notification bell to get all of our latest updates.
And if you can't get enough of us talking here on YouTube, well, don't worry. We're on Twitter. We're also on Instagram. Oh, and we're also on TikTok. Be sure to check out all those in our description box below. Anyways, that'll conclude this week's episode of Fresh Releases. Tune in next week for Mortal Kombat.